Hey there, it's Mike Cooch. And in this video, I want to share with you what I believe is the #1 quality of successful entrepreneurs. Then I also want to give you 4 steps on how you can develop or nurture that quality in yourself. Okay, so what is this #1 quality that's so important? I think that Sam Altman from Y Combinator, if you're familiar with Y Combinator, it's an incredibly successful venture accelerator or incubator where they take these very, very small businesses or businesses that haven't even started yet, right? Just pure startup stage idea companies, give them just a little bit of money and then give them guidance and give them a community to support them so that they can help launch their business. And they have just this incredible track record of success. Look them up and you'll see that some of the most well-known companies here in the last 10 years have come out of Y Combinator. So Altman said that there are 4 criteria that he looks for before they make an investment in a business. And it's the one that I want to share with you that I think is the most important and the most interesting. And that is, he asked the question, are the founders forces of nature? Okay, what a powerful statement, right? Forces of nature. And from what I've seen, my experience in working with a lot of different entrepreneurs and knowing a lot of different entrepreneurs, I think that this is exactly right, and I think it's worded perfectly, that they are forces of nature. So when you think about somebody that's a force of nature, what does that mean to you? Right? That means somebody that they're going forward and they're not going to be stopped no matter what, and they're bringing a tremendous amount of energy into what they're doing, right? That's a force of nature. And that is absolutely the case, again, of every successful entrepreneur that I've ever seen. It is that they are a force of nature. Okay, they're not waiting for the perfect timing. They're not waiting for the perfect circumstances or conditions. They're not looking for anybody to give them the perfect answers or the perfect blueprint as to how something gets done. And that's not to say that they're not looking for guidance and they're not looking for experience that they can learn from other people and mentors and things like that. They absolutely are. I think the smartest ones are. But it doesn't matter if they can't get that perfect answer from somebody, they can't get that step-by-step blueprint from somebody, or the conditions aren't just right. They are still just moving forward because they are a force of nature and they're overcoming the challenges that they're coming up against just through pure energy and will and drive in many cases, right? Because the reality as an entrepreneur, you run into so many unexpected challenges and just situations that a normal, rational person would probably quit and throw in the towel and say, hey, this is enough. This doesn't make any sense. Whereas the successful entrepreneurs that they've run into those same challenges. They've run into them over and over and over again, and probably more than you can imagine. And yet they're still there, they're still in the game, they're still moving forward because they just have that force of nature mindset and personality. So I absolutely believe that is it. That is the #1 quality for sure. And I think Sam Altman has it absolutely right. So the question is, well then how do you develop that, or how, more importantly, do you nurture that in yourself? Because I think everybody has that. I think if you take anybody and you put them in the right conditions and the right situation, they will have that force of nature personality. And so when I say the right conditions or the right circumstances, what do I mean by that? If you take anybody and you corner them and there is something that is important enough to them, they're going to fight. Right? They're going to be a force of nature. They're going to do whatever it takes to get out of that situation or to overcome the odds or whatever it is. It just has to be the right situation for them in their minds to believe that it's worth it. So you've got to believe that the dream that you're going after, the business that you're trying to build, the hustle is going to be worth it, or else you're never going to get there. So how do you develop that? To me, when I think back for myself, what's important to me is that there's really 4 things, okay? One is I've got to have a very, very clear vision of the future that I'm trying to build. that's just got to be compelling and super exciting to me. And the more clear it is, I've found for me personally, the more likely it is that I'm willing to just absolutely go for it and not let anything stand in my way. There's something about, I'm actually not into like any sort of like kind of, visualization stuff in terms of like The Secret or, things will just be manifested for you. I actually don't believe in any of that. What I do believe in is, for me personally, if I can see a very clear picture of something, it feels like there's almost 100% certainty that I can make it happen, because I know exactly what it is and I will just, absolutely go for it and just hold that vision in my mind until I get there. And if I can't see it as clearly, if it's kind of fuzzy and I kind of generally know the direction I'm going, it just does not work as well for me at all. So I have to have a very clear vision of where I'm going in the future. And again, it's got to be exciting enough, compelling enough, big enough to me that all of the sacrifices that I'm going to make and all the hard work and all the challenges that I'm going to have to overcome are worth it. Otherwise, why go through it? The second thing is, I've got to have a very big reason why. A very big reason why. So just building a company, building, something that's going to make money or whatever it is, that's not enough for me. And I don't think that that's enough for most people. For me, usually what drives me is the freedom that that's going to create and the experiences that I'm going to have along the way in creating that. Like, to me as an entrepreneur, that's what it's all about. It's all about the freedom, and it's all about the adventure of getting to create something. To me, that is like, the modern like adventure, of our lifetimes. Like, the planet has already largely been explored, right? So it's not hopping in a ship and sailing across the sea and hoping that you discover new land anymore. To me, the adventure that I get to live is trying to do these really challenging things and build these exciting things, and that freedom that I can create that comes from it, and the impact that I can have on the world or on other people's lives because of that. That's the reason why to me. That's what gets me excited and drives me, again, no matter what, challenges I'm going to face. So number 2 is, you've got to have a compelling reason why. And if you think it's money, I challenge you to really dig deeper on this, because I've found in almost all cases that's the wrong answer. And entrepreneurs who think it's just money end up realizing, oftentimes the hard way, that is not the case. So number 1, a very, very clear vision. Number 2 is, I've got to have a strong reason why, a compelling reason why. Number 3 is that I've got to believe that it's possible. I have to have the belief that what I'm going to try to do is possible, okay? Because the reality is, if I have this amazing vision and I've got this very exciting reason why, but I don't actually believe that it's possible, then the reality is I'm not going to go after it with 100% certainty. So you've got to believe that what you're trying to do is possible. How do you get that belief? That may be different for everybody. For some of you, it may be, hey, I've got to go find somebody else that's done it or done close to what I'm looking for, so that I can see that it's possible, that another normal human being did this, right? Or maybe you've got to go get a little bit more education or a little bit more experience or whatever it is, but you have to have that belief. I think most true entrepreneurs have that belief. It's just something that's internal. Like, they're not waiting again for more answers or more proof or more experience. They've just got that belief inside of them that once they've seen that clear vision, that they can do it. But whatever it is for you, you've got to have that belief. You've got to have that certainty. Again, otherwise you're going to take no for an answer. When you hear no or you hit some other roadblock, in your mind, that's just going to be more proof that what you're doing probably isn't possible. Versus if you believe it 100%, that's just going to be another door that you're just going to bulldoze right through, a wall that you're going to, go over, go around, go under, whatever you have to do to accomplish your big vision. So number 3 is belief. You've got to have that sense of certainty and belief that you can do it. And then number 4 is action. Number 4 is action. The way that you develop this force of nature in you is to take action. Okay, action has power in it. Action creates this momentum that trains you and teaches you that, one, you're serious about what you say you're going to do, right? This isn't just creating some sort of plan. This isn't just, telling your friends that you're going to start a business and that you're going to build something cool. This is you following through and demonstrating to yourself, as well as to other people, but most importantly to yourself, that you are a person of action, that you follow through on what you say that you're going to do. And when you train yourself that way, when you teach yourself that way, you become a stronger version of yourself. You become somebody who has real integrity, to your own dreams and to your own belief that you can accomplish things, because you back it up with action. And that action creates momentum. And I found that personally, when I just get something moving forward, I call it getting the train pulling out of the station, right? When a train is pulling out of the station, that's the hardest work. That's the hardest work that a train will have to do, because once a train gets going down the track and it's got so much weight and so much momentum, it's pretty darn easy to just keep that train going down the track, right? But getting the train pulled out of the station at first to get all of that weight moving down the track, that takes a ton of energy, okay? And it requires taking that action, that really determined action to get things going. But I found the exact same thing for me in my life and creating a new business is when I get that train going out of the station by taking that action, incredible things do happen, right? It creates momentum and it creates proof and belief in other people's minds that see what you're doing, and then they want to reach out and help you. They're motivated by what you're doing. They see the excitement of what you're doing and the belief that you have and the certainty that you have, and they get excited about that. And all of a sudden, people start coming out of the woodwork to help you. So if there is such a thing as the secret, I think that that's where it comes from. It comes from you taking action, not sitting and thinking about things and thinking that you're going to manifest something. It's about doing. Okay, so those are the 4 steps. If you want to be a force of nature, if you want to create your own business and enjoy the freedom and the adventure and everything that comes from being an entrepreneur, which it is amazing, it's an amazing life, then I think that those are the 4 steps to do it, okay? You've got to have a really clear vision. You've got to have a really compelling reason why. You've got to have belief that you can do it. And then you've got to take action. Those are the 4 steps to turn yourself into a force of nature, all right? Let me know what you think. Share this with somebody that needs to hear it. And somewhere around here is the subscribe button. Please subscribe. Follow me on these accounts. I'd love to keep in touch, all right? Take care.